stage concern in the afternoon.
Oh, God.
And now the conference. Your constituency association has tabled a motion about privatisation, so you'll be expected to make a speech. Oh, and Alan, will you please take your hand out from under my skirt?
Oh, Beatrice, why be so hard on yourself? You know you want me.
Alan, concentrate on the matter in hand.
I love it when you talk dirty.
Look, I'm attracted to you, Alan. Of course I am.
Well, who isn't?
But it would never work. I mean, what about Sarah?
Sarah?
Yes, my old school friend, Sarah. You must remember Sarah.
Yeah.
You're married to her.
Oh, Sarah. Well, actually, Beatrice, it's interesting because Sarah would actually be happy if we were having an affair. She's never really been interested in sex. Frigid little cow, really. Not like you. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it now under the desk.
Hello. Have you seen the weird?
Bless you, Piers.
Oh, but I didn't sneeze.
You're not ill.
Was I interrupting something, Alan?
No, it's all right, Piers. You're as welcome as Jeffrey Archer at the Daily Star Christmas party.
Well, that's all right, then.
I thought you were supposed to be visiting Sir Stephen in hospital.
Oh, well, I did, but I didn't want to stay too long. The poor old chap was looking a bit weak and weary.
Oh, he's back to normal then?
Well, I suppose so. He's planning on discharging himself tomorrow.
Really? After a prostate operation? That'll be a medical first.
I'm sorry, Alan, I don't understand.
It's not your fault, Piers. It's the centuries of inbreeding. So, have you found yourself a pretty little bed warmer for the party conference, then?
What do you mean?
Well, Beatrice was just offering to share her suite with me at the Imperial Hotel.
Why? Are you both on a diet?
No, her hotel suite. God, if your IQ was any lower, you'd need watering, wouldn't you?
Are you talking about illicit sex?
Yes. Illicit sex. The best sort.
Alan, it is not normal for a man to go chasing after every woman he sees. Homo sapien is naturally monogamous.
Naturally monogamous. Where are you getting these 5 guinea words? Anything more than 2 syllables, you normally have to have a lie down.
Look, you know Sir Stephen is the chairman of the Campaign for Moral Regeneration.
No, I didn't know that. Mind, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's a fine old English tradition, isn't it? Once you're too old and decrepit to do it yourself, you start a committee to stop everyone else doing it.
How dare you? Sir Stephen and Lady Rosemary have been happily married for 47 years.
Happily? Well, then why is he lying in hospital, minus his prostate? I'll tell you why. Lack of use. I'm not letting mine go rusty.
You're morally bankrupt, Alan.
Oh, that's rich, isn't it? Coming from someone whose father was actually convicted of sheep worrying.
It wasn't Daddy's fault. It was a regimental tradition.
Oh, really? Really? Well, then why did they ask for 17 other animals to be taken into consideration?
That's right, poor scorn, that's what you always do. Well, I don't care. This once great nation is reeling under a vicious onslaught of smut and filth, Sir Stephen said, and it's up to us to do something about it.
Well, you don't actually mean you've joined this absurd campaign?
Yes.
But, Piers, it'll be full of repressed old blue-rinsed virgins in case-skips and support hose. And the women will be even worse.
There's a campaign meeting tomorrow afternoon. You really ought to attend for your own good.
Oh, no. Not me. I'm a libertarian. If there's a demand for pornography and people prepared to meet that demand, then who are we to stand in the way of market mechanisms? That, Piers Fletcher Dervish, is the slippery road towards socialism.
Well, if you really believe that, then there's no more to be said.
Good.
Good. But I'm sure if you saw the sort of obscene films we have to sit through at campaign meetings, you'd be as disgusted as I am.
Filthy films.
Awful, vile films. I mean, for instance, tomorrow, we're going to have to endure Snow White and the 7 Perverts. It makes me shudder just to think of it.
What time tomorrow?
Girls, the light switch, if you please. Well, there we have it. Snow White and the 7 Perverts. And to think I left my sickbed for that. I have no words to express my abhorrence of this hateful film, but if there are any comments...
Excuse me, Sir Stephen, but on a point of information, I haven't seen Snow White since Nanny took me to the Devizes Gaumont. I think it was Christmas 1961. But I'm sure there wasn't a dwarf called Nobby.
Thank you, Piers. Any other observations? No? Well, I think this may be a convenient moment to adjourn for a cup of good, honest tea, to wash the taste of decadence out of our mouths. Now, we'll reconvene in 20 minutes to look at the pornographic photographs kindly lent by the Metropolitan Police Commissioner from his personal collection. No, I'm sorry. I mean pictures personally lent by the Commissioner from the Metropolitan Police's collection. 20 minutes, then.
Bastard, rising star of the new right. What do you want? Really? You can get 3,000 copies, all personally signed by Peter Wright. Oh, well, it sounds like a marvellous investment, Norman, but unfortunately, I've only just exchanged contracts on the new massage parlour, so I really don't have 50 grand to rub together, as it were. I suppose I could sell Sarah's jewels. Hang on, there's someone at the door. I've got to go. Bye. Enter. Do I know you?
We haven't actually met. Virginia Emery.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote to you. I'm a constituent.
Ah, well, that's where the problem is. I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding. I don't speak to constituents. Good morning.
But you invited me to see you, Sir Stephen.
Oh, Lady Virginia. Oh, excuse me, I'm obviously embarrassing. Pressure of work. Please, forgive me. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Now then, you wrote to me about publishing a book.
Yes. I must say, I thought you'd be older.
Yes, they do say I have a wisdom and a gravity which belies my youth. But about your book?
Hardly a book, really. It's more of a pamphlet.
Hmm? Sex is wrong. It's an arresting title.
Thank you. Of course, I don't mean that sex is wrong in all circumstances. For the purposes of procreating the human race and within the sanctity of holy wedlock, I suppose it is permissible.
Yes, I'm sure. And you were hoping that I could get this little pamphlet printed for you?
You did say you'd try, in your letter, as chairman of the campaign.
Oh, yes, of course. And, it just so happens I have recently joined the board of a little firm of publishers dedicated to producing works of a morally uplifting nature, and, do you know, I think I could probably persuade them to issue a limited edition of your essay.
Oh, that's wonderful, Sir Stephen.
Yes, it is, isn't it? However, they are a charitable, non-profit-making foundation, and as such, it is usual for the author to make a nominal contribution towards the printing costs.
Oh, yes, of course, I quite understand.
Well, what should we say then? 50 pence a copy at a print run of, what, 2,000?
Yes, all right. Sounds most reasonable.
Good. And if we hurry, we may just have it printed in time to be on sale at the Conservative Party conference.
Oh, that's splendid. I'm very grateful. Of course, sadly, I can't attend the conference myself. I'm a tiny bit phobic where crowds are concerned.
Oh, good. Grief, how awful. Well, Lady Virginia, I suppose the best thing is if you let me have a cheque.
What, right away?
Well, there's no time to lose, my dear.
I'm in your hands. Payable to Sir Stephen Baxter?
Oh, good Lord, no. We must make it out to the charity. And the charity is the Christian Approach to Society Handbooks.
I don't think I could squeeze all that in.
It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Well, shall we just put the initials then? Pay C-A-S-H, £1,000. That's lovely. Thank you so much, Lady Virginia. Well, I must get on. I'm a very busy man. You don't mind showing yourself out, do you? There's a policeman outside the door. He'll show you where the street is. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, hello? Is that Horny Person Publications? Yes, this is Mr. Allen speaking. That's right, the publisher of Big Wobblers. Listen, do you think you could do a rush job for me? Yeah, well, it's a sort of religious tract with some rather unusual illustrations in it. Are they hot? Well, let's just say I'll be sending them to you in an asbestos envelope. Children who develop a morbid interest in their private parts should have their hands bound at bedtime. This is not the work of a well woman. Excuse me, this is a Tory table. The Labourites sit over there in the draft. You deaf? Oh, you are? Oh, God. Oh, Sir Stephen, over here, over here. Sit down, you mustn't overtire yourself. Can I get you a drink?
Thank you.
Large wink harness?
No, I need something stronger. Double whiskey and ginger ale.
Fine. And I'll have a large Armagnac, please, Pierce.
What?
It's your round.
Oh, is it? Right.
I feel quite distressed after that disgusting film.
Yes. Must be awful for a man in your condition. Rather like having your stomach removed than being led round Harrod's food hall. Where are the drinks, Pierce?
Oh, the drinks. I knew there was something. And, Alan, there's definitely not a dwarf called Horny.
Sir Stephen, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but in the hour since I left your meeting, I've had a profound spiritual experience.
Oh, really?
I got back to my office, and I found this waiting for me.
Virginia Imrie. Now, that name rings a distant bell.
That is a name that will ring bells across the countryside in years to come. Church bells.
Here we are, 3 halves of shandy.
We'd be better off with a performing seal, really, wouldn't we?
Sex is wrong. That's what my fiancé's always said.
Sex without marriage is a mortal sin, and yet sex within marriage is an enemy to domestic harmony. This is the work of a genius. She sums up my last 47 years in a nutshell.
I know. It's brilliant. We must find a way to disseminate it.
Yeah, we must bring this message of hope to a wider audience.
I know. Why don't we run off some photocopies?
Oh, shame on you, Piers. When Moses went up Mount Sinai to collect the 10 Commandments, did he say, "Oh, cheers, Lord, I'll run up a few photocopies"? No, he didn't, did he? He went away and he wrote the Bible, the greatest book in the history of books. We must give Sex is Wrong the greatest presentation we can possibly afford.
You mean we must send it to a publisher?
No. I mean that we, as the Campaign for Moral Regeneration, should publish it ourselves.
Huh? But won't that be frighteningly expensive?
Well, interestingly enough, no. I took the liberty of telephoning an old established firm of printers who specialise in works of devotional nature. And they said that they could get us 2,000 bound copies by next week at £1 apiece.
Oh!
And just to show my sincerity, I am prepared to put up half of the publishing costs.
Bravo!
But half of £2,000 is... 0.005739.
Thank you, Nigel Lawson.
What do you think?
Not a bad display, Piers. That's better. What do you think?
£10? But I thought you said the printers charged £1 a copy. Does this mean the campaign will make a profit?
Oh, I doubt it very much, Piers. Not once we take off the transportation costs.
Yes, but you brought them up in your own car.
Listen, Piers, if you were successful enough to own a Bentley, then you'd know how expensive they are to run, wouldn't you?
Alan, why did the printer wrap them in this plastic
It's
stuff?
to stop them having babies. Oh, my God. Piers, call me Sir Stephen.
Well, how can I? He's in London. He's had a relax.
Oh, shut up. Listen. For some reason, this poor unworldly girl seems to think I'm Sir Stephen Baxter.
Why?
Well, because I told her I was.
But you're not.
Lady Virginia! What a pleasant surprise. I thought you weren't coming to the conference.
I wasn't, but I simply had to see my little work in print.
Well, in that case, I'll send a copy straight round to your hotel. You see, the thing is, the conference is about to break for coffee, and any second now, this vestibule is going to be swarming with people.
Oh, well then perhaps I will just slip away.
Mr. Alan Pascal and Walter Price.
In fact, Piers will show you to the taxi rank. Where's Piers?
Mr. Alan Pascal and Walter Price.
Well, I wonder where he can be. I don't know, you put your name down to speak, and then when the time comes...
Alan, where have you been? You're supposed to be speaking.
Alan?
No.
You told me you were Sir Stephen Baxter.
Oh, did he?
No, don't.
Oh, my God!
Oh, my God!
I can explain everything. It's Piers' fault.
For the final time, Mr. Alan Pascal, please.
Goodbye.
Just you wait till Mrs. Thatcher hears about this.
Well, why should the royal family be dependent on state salaries? If their ancient lands and rights were restored, they could live with dignity from their rents, as a great feudal family should. Now, that is what I mean by privatising the monarchy. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, fellow Conservatives, Norman, Cecil, Geoffrey. Before I begin, I feel I must say, and I'm sure I speak for all of us here, how very much I admired the last speaker. A credit to her family, to conservatism, and indeed to private education. For I hazard that she doesn't attend a comprehensive in the People's Republic of Brit. but to the meat of the motion. Denationalisation. Now, I will take the liberty of reinterpreting the motion. For when I hear the word denationalisation, I don't think about the flotation of the shipbuilding industry. No. I think about the dilution of our national spirit. The loss of our very nationhood. And who is it that is behind this loss of nationhood? Why, the peddlers of pornography. Our once great nation is reeling under a vicious onslaught of smut and filth. But we need guidance in our battle against this tide of filth. And thank God, guidance exists. Sex is Wrong by Lady Virginia Imrie. This book pulls no punches. The text is forthright, and the full-colour photographs, frankly, shocking in their sexual explicitness. I consider myself to be a man of the world, and yet there are acts illustrated within this book of such depraved complexity that, frankly, it took my breath away. And the picture on page 17 caused me to telephone the RSPCA immediately. And for a mere £10. And after all, what is £10 to people like us? Half-decent cigar, a week's social security for a family of gypsies. And I know which I'd prefer. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Where on earth can I get a copy? Well, thank God! They're on sale in the vestibule now. If you care about Britain, put your hand in your pocket and buy one. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, here they are. Ready for everybody. Ready for everybody. What, page 14? Yes, page 14. It's most disgusting towards the end. That's where the rubber stuff is, yes. Oh dear, that'll be Beatrice, I suppose. God, it's so inevitable.
May I come in?
Unfortunately, I'm naked underneath this bathrobe, so...
That's all right. I'm sure I'm perfectly safe with a moral crusader like you, Sir Stephen.
Look, please don't tell Mrs. Thatcher. I can explain everything.
I don't care. When I saw you up on that platform making that wonderful speech and filling that hall with moral fervour, I felt a strange desire within me. A strange longing I'd never felt before.
Can you be more specific?
You must know that you're a very attractive and charismatic man.
Yes, I know that, yes.
Don't make me spell it out, Alan. I know what I want to do is wrong, but I just don't care.
Does this mean that you don't want your £1,000 back?
It means I intend to get my money's worth.
I think I've just experienced a sudden swing to the right.